Hello, this is History Shorts with the Artifactual Scholar. Today, I'll be talking about the first witch trials in New England. The witch trials that occurred in Salem, Massachusetts in 1692 are by far the most famous and celebrated episodes of witchcraft hysteria in colonial New England. But they were not the first. Decades earlier, accusations of witchcraft struck another English colony. In 1642, the Connecticut colony passed a law stating, "If any man or woman be a witch, they shall be put to death." And from the late 1640s to the early 1660s, a series of witchcraft accusations, trials, and executions occurred across the colony. Alice Young of Windsor was the first accused witch killed in the English colonies. She was convicted of witchcraft and executed near the Meeting House in Hartford in 1647. She left behind a husband and young daughter. Coincidentally, the daughter, also named Alice, was later accused of witchcraft in Springfield, Massachusetts. A year after Alice Young's death, Mary Johnson from Wethersfield was also convicted of witchcraft. Johnson, who worked as a domestic servant, had run afoul of the authorities in 1646 when she was accused of theft. By 1648, she was once again accused of theft, but while imprisoned, she confessed to the murder of a child and that she had been guilty of uncleanness with men and devils. The shocking confession, most likely coerced, led to an indictment and conviction of witchcraft. Though sentenced to death, her execution was delayed because she was pregnant. After the birth of her child, she eventually met her fate on the gallows in 1650. Over the next decade, at least a dozen other people faced accusations of witchcraft. John and Joan Carrington, a married Wethersfield couple, were convicted and executed in 1651. That same year, Goodwife Bassett was executed in Fairfield. In 1653, another Fairfield woman, Goodwife Knapp, met the same fate. In 1654, Lydia Gilbert of Windsor was accused and convicted of using witchcraft to cause the mortal wounding of one of her creditors. Yet many of those accused were acquitted. Nicholas Bailey and his wife were accused of witchcraft in New Haven in 1655, but were absolved. And William Meeker, also of New Haven, was accused and exonerated in 1657. He later sued his accuser for slander. Then, in 1662, another brief hysteria emerged. The so-called Hartford witch panic began when 8-year-old Elizabeth Kelly fell ill and died. Her parents blamed Goody Ayers of using magic to afflict their daughter. Shortly thereafter, Anne Cole accused Rebecca Greensmith of tormenting her. Greensmith was imprisoned and soon confessed to familiarity with the devil, implicating others, including her own husband, Nathaniel. By early 1663, about 10 other people had been tried and accused of witchcraft, and at least 3, including the Greensmiths, were executed. Throughout the rest of the 1660s, accusations and trials continued across the colony, but convictions became less frequent and executions stopped. This was largely due to the influence of John Winthrop Jr., the colony's governor. Winthrop was most likely skeptical about witchcraft accusations and insisted that physical evidence, rather than spectral evidence, be presented at trials. He also required a plurality of witnesses for each accusation. Additionally, he used his power as governor to pardon several of those convicted. By the end of the century, witchcraft trials had ceased in the colony. The witch hysteria in Connecticut, like that in Salem, was probably caused by societal change, political and religious controversy, and the fear and uncertainty of colonial life. Many of those accused of witchcraft lived on the margins of society or were viewed as difficult or contentious individuals who threatened the social norms of the time. In all, about 16 people were executed for witchcraft, while dozens more were accused and tried. And in many ways, the events in Connecticut foreshadowed the panic and tragedy of the Salem hysteria. This has been History Shorts. Thanks for watching.